How to learn JavaScript from beginner to advanced. Today we'll do together one promise. We will fetch, we will bring some data from a server using a fetch URL API. No, I have here this fetch data because I create an HTML. I have here just an HTML. Do you see this button, fetch data? If I click it, nothing happens because under the hood I don't have nothing in my script, in my JavaScript code. I propose to create here a promise for take data from an URL API. I have this URL API. JSON placeholder is a type of URL, an array of objects, because I have here an array with 100 objects. Okay, let's do this together step by step, gradually. Firstly, we analyze this HTML. I have a button and I have two divs. First div with ID data, where I display data, the data that I will bring from the server, the response that I will receive from server, and error, the error in case doesn't work this fetch. Okay, firstly I will create a function to fetch data and display just title or ID or body, I don't know. I create a function to fetch data. Okay, function fetch and display data, because I display fetch and display data. First letter from each word, it's with uppercase because it's a camel case style. Fetch and display data. Do you see here A and display data? First letter is uppercase, is with is not lower. Okay, inside this function I will make a reference to these divs. Now I need two variables, because in these variables I will put some content, and should to create two variables for manipulate this ID data and this ID error, these divs. And for this I will select the data and error div element from the HTML to display error. I use get element by ID. I take this get element by ID. You can use also document.query selector or document get element by class name or other selector. Okay, also I will define the URL from which the data will be fetched, but let's put it. This is the URL. I create a variable const URL, and this is my API. This API is on a server. Okay, now I will create a fetch data. And I will start to create this fetch. When you create a fetch, you should to use the keyword fetch, because I tell you JavaScript is concludent. When you work with keyword, fetch mean bring some data, give me some server, bring means this fetch and callback. In callback we have URL. You can put this URL in this way, no, fetch and the URL from where you take the data, or in my case this URL is this variable, assign it. It's simple, put I will put just URL variable, no, because I assign to this variable, I assign it this URL. Fetch URL, okay. And now I will start to handle this promise, because in this when I write this fetch URL, I send a request through get method to the server. Now in the moment that I write fetch and URL and this URL, I will send a request to server for give me some data, no? Okay, and now should to receive a response from server in first instance, I use this then and catch method for handle this promise, and in then I will handle if my request is okay. Okay, and for this I have a response that okay method. It's okay method, no? This okay is a method in JavaScript that send us if it's okay or not the answer from a server. But I will put here negation, because the condition is I don't initially 2 seconds, because should to put here inside of a function, not directly. Okay, my internet doesn't work well, but I'm waiting because I was working with promise. Do you know a promise wait from a function, no? Why I don't waiting like a promise? Fetch URL, and now I handle this method with then and callback. In this then I will put the response from server, and I use an arrow function. When you work with promises, you use arrow function, is simple, readable, is not a problem. And inside I will put a statements. And now inside this statement should to check if the answer from server is okay, if the status is between 200 and 299. And for this I use this condition. I put a condition if response is not okay with negation, throw an error. If I put here a condition, if response dot okay, this response now the parameter who send me the server, the response from server. If the response is not okay, I put here negation, and throw new error is a method in JavaScript. Throw new, and the name of error, network response was not okay. Okay, and if the response is okay, in this case return me response.json. What means this return response.json? JSON followed by this call means that I will receive from server data, but these data are transformed in object, because I transform with this JSON call. Now this method transform and parse the data, parse the response body as JSON, transform the response in object, because I need to manipulate them, and for this should to transform this response in JSON or array for manipulate it, because I have a lot of method with array and with object. Now I will use again a then, but from this time, for this time I will take the data from my JSON. Again, then callback, and inside this callback I put a function. Data is the name of my object. And now I want to extract the titles. For this I will map through data title. I will map through the data type title. I have this title. Now for each object I have here an array of object 100 object, and I will iterate through each title, through each object. Okay, and now should to display it. Okay, let's see. Titles data map. data.div should to restart, but doesn't work. Let me see why. Because I didn't put on add event listener now to my button. Let's check. I have this function fetch and display data. Okay, let's put an add event listener. Document fetch button add element by ID. Restart, and now work. Okay, let's suppose that you want to also take all body from this IP. You should to create another variable and should to iterate through all body item. I create all body. Where is this all body? I want to display all body from each object. Now I have 100 body. Okay, and I have here another variable all body, and with this method map, because map is a method who iterate through an array, I will display all body. Post.body. Post is current post. With arrow function I will display each post from each object, and after this I will use join for display to a new line the next post. Okay, now let me to display in HTML. I add plus equal because I want to append to a HTML a new element, this body. I restart, and now I have title and all body. Okay, and if I put here interpolate, I want to see from where begin this all body. Bodies are these, or start from here. That was a good, it's okay in this way. Bodies, okay, loading. Okay, and this with interpolate I create this. Bodies, put this from here, begin. Let me to put here a style equal background color green, because I want to see from where start my body. But from here, because here I have bodies are this. Okay. Okay, should to put this in span. And here to close the span. No, let's see now. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't work. Probably I didn't write here something correctly. Okay, let's do a little summary of this code. When you want to use a fetch promise to take some data from a URL IP, you use this fetch URL, and in this URL you put the address of from server. Where is the API? I put this API with I assign to URL variable. I put just variable here, and after I manipulate, I handle, I take the response from server, I check if it's okay, the response is not okay, I receive an error, and if it's okay, I server return me a JSON, an object. After this I manipulate this object with another, then I take the data, I use this data, I put here the name of array of object data, and I see data data with arrow function, and I iterate through this data for take title and body, and I display them. That was all for today. I hope you understand. All the best.